Patrician or whatever, Caribbean, whatever the other cars were named. This was very simply called the Packard convertible. Less than 1,000 of them were made, so they're very rare and very unusual to find them today. Packard also was a little late to the fin game and didn't have the money to put fins on the back of their cars. So if you look at the chrome strips coming down out of the back fender down to the taillights, the fins were actually made out of chrome pieces on the back of the car to give the car that fin look. My friend, congratulations. I didn't get to see you today, but well deserved. Great car. Fair and balanced, yes. If Guy looks familiar to you, he's oftentimes on Fox News as a commentator. Our next category is the engine category. Third in place goes to George Herbert with a 61 Jaguar XKE Roadster. Second is Ricardo Benitez with a 67 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray, 427 cubic inch, 435 horse. And best in class goes to Mark Hyman with a 1932 Alfa Romeo 8C 2300. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to move my podium. Getting a face full of just come back. It's really helping you have what we do left. Let me go that way. Ah, much better. A little warm standing there in the sun, to say the least. Okay, our next category, since it appears we're not having that come up, is the evolution of Ferrari category. Oh, it's coming? Okay, here we are. Oh, good. It's very important that you get to see this car because it's really spectacular. Again, the engine category, you heard me say it's an 8C 2300. This is a straight 8 that is under the hood of this car, an inline 8-cylinder engine. Many of them were supercharged. They all were coach built. Once again, these cars did not come from a body from the Alfa Romeo factory. They were done by various coach builders. In the case of this car, Zagato was the coach builder who did this particular car. When Vittorio Giano, who was the designer of this car and engine, came out with it in 1928-29, Alfa Romeo immediately took the car racing and they won every race they entered. There was no more winning manufacturer than Alfa Romeo during the pre- and post-war years. Keep in mind, when Alfa Romeo was building these cars, they were largely a boutique automobile builder, not a production car builder. So you were someone of substance and of money and of wealth who had the ability to buy these cars. They're very, very fast cars for their era, and they're often toured by people who like to tour their vintage cars. Phil, thank you very much. Congratulations on your award. Gosh, that car sounds nice. Wow. I mean, think about, that's an 8-cylinder car from almost 100 years ago, and how that sounds great today. Okay, our Ferrari class is next. Christopher Apone is the winner of third in category with a 1995 Ferrari F355 GTS. Second is Howard Jacobs with a 2017 Ferrari F12 Berlinetta. And this is Martin Patton in first place with a 2015 Ferrari La Ferrari. It was called the La Ferrari because it was to be the ultimate in Ferraris. And of course, at the time it was. It was the fastest car that Ferrari had made as a production car. The first using electronics, not electrics is a better choice of word, in conjunction with the internal combustion engine. I am assuming, not knowing the owner, but I would suspect this was a very personal choice and spec this car to order. I love, love, love the color combination, and it is proof to everybody in this area where we are right now, not all Ferraris have to be red. Great, great car. Congratulations on your award. Okay, next up is our showcase category of muscle cars. And the third in class goes to Jay Pitch with a 1968 Plymouth Roadrunner. Second to Ricardo Kramer with a 1968 Plymouth GTX. And our best in class to Robert Lopez with a 1970 Plymouth GTX. Now, some of you may be looking at this and saying, well, it sure looks like a Roadrunner to me. Well, it's not. This was the top of the line car in the Plymouth category, designed to compete with the Mercury Cyclone, with the Buick GS, and the Olds 442, which were the much more upscale muscle cars. Muscle cars are really 1964 to 1974, bookended by the Pontiac GTO, beginning and the end of the GTO. This was a category of car where they took the intermediate or the mid-sized car and put the biggest engine in that was available. In the case of a GTX, this car came fully equipped. So you got a 440 V8, a big block 440 in it, bucket seats, console, the road wheels, trim rings. It was a more deluxe car from the factory. This car, however, was ordered with what's called an air grabber hood, which is that little thing you see sticking up out of the hood, which enabled you to raise that at speed to inject more cold air into the engine and up the horsepower. It is also what we call a six-pack car, so it's 446, meaning it has three two-barrel carburetors on top, which Chrysler or Mopar called a six-pack. The paint is a what was called a high-impact color, and they had these wild names for them. And if it was a Plymouth, it was one color, and if it was a Dodge, it was another. So if this was a Dodge, it was Sublime, and if it's a Plymouth, it is Limelight. I'm just completely blanked on that. So this is a very, very cool muscle car and a very nice one to see today. Congratulations.
Especially in the summertime, it's fabulous. So I see you during the week here, I was going over there, and now then you go back.
Having a wardrobe malfunction up here, I apologize. Okay, next category, the utility category. Third in class goes to Jorge Lopez with a 1971 Honda Vamos. Second, Erwin Halperin with a 1984 Mercedes-Benz 300 TD. And this, first place to Alan DeGrave with a 1985 Audi Sport Quattro. I would suffice it to say, if there's any Audi anybody ever wants in their collection, this is the car. These were built, they were homologated, I'll use that word. Homologated meaning, thank you. Homologated meaning that the cars were built so they could race or rally the cars. So the manufacturer was required to build a certain number of the cars as production cars. Once again, Audi decided they wanted to showcase their Quattro all-wheel drive, so they decided to proceed with the World Rally Championship. And they fielded this car, which was a shorter chassis car, stubbier car. It was a 5-cylinder engine, which is unusual, an inline 5-cylinder engine, turbocharged with all-wheel drive. And once again, Audi went out and won literally everything with the car. This was kind of the beginning of Quattro, what we have on our Audis today, but really the car that put Audi on the map, both worldwide and the States. If the name Audi actually goes back to the 1930s. Volkswagen bought the company in 1963, but it was an amalgamation of Auto Union, which was DKW, Wanderer, Audi, and Auto Union, the four manufacturers. Very, very cool car. And dare I say, I don't like to talk about car values, but this was probably a wise purchase, because these cars are skyrocketing in value because they're limited, very limited in number. The cars were used up, they were run hard. Fabulous example. Bravo, one of my favorites on the field today. Great car. Okay, next up, we're almost through with our standard awards or regular awards here. This is the topless category. Don't get any ideas, although maybe get some ideas, I shouldn't say that. The topless category, which means it's a topless car, not topless drivers or participants. We're skipping it, okay. But I'm going to announce it, Eric. The winner in third in class is a 1968 Mercedes-Benz 280 SE Cabriolet, owned by Gabriel Serrano. Second in class goes to a 1992 Ford Mustang LX convertible, owned by Manny Mendez. And first in class was to Dennis and Susan Garrity with a 1952 Ferrari 342 America Cabriolet Speciale by Vignale. Okay, on to cockpits. The interior of the car, the cockpit of the car. Third in class goes to Skip Waldman with a 2018 Ferrari 488 Spider. Second to Vince Vento with a 1956 Chevrolet Corvette. And best in class to our car we see here, Ruben Ezekiel with a 1965 Sunbeam Tiger Mark I. All right, this is actually a car which was the Sunbeam Alpine. This was, of course, a European or British car built by Rootes, R-O-O-T-E-S, which later became a part of Chrysler. But at this time, they had the idea, much like the Shelby Cobra, let's put an American V8 in a British sports car, the Sunbeam Alpine. So what happened here was they actually hired Carroll Shelby to build the prototype car. So he shoehorned a Ford 260 V8 under the hood of this car. This is a 260 V8 car, ergo it is a Mark I. If it was a Mark II, it would be a 289 Mustang V8 under the hood. But once again, these are very underrated cars. They're very quick, they're very nimble, they're very fast. They had a little propensity to rust. That's one of the problems with them. But they're really quite interesting to drive, a lot of fun, a lot of power, and very desirable today amongst collectors. Beautifully done car. Nice hardtop too. Congratulations. I can't see that, I'm sorry. Oh, that's right, and this was the car, right, yeah, very good. The Maxwell Smart drove in I Spy, that's correct. He later switched to another, but this was his initial car, that's correct. Very good, thank you for reminding me. Now. Okay, our final car in the class awards is Paint. Jorge Lopez was our third place winner with a 1990 Honda Acti. Second is Leon Ohalvo, I hope I'm saying that right, with a 2012 Lexus LFA. And best in class is Billy Levinson with a 2024 Lamborghini Violetto Apparata Unica. And I'm believing we're not going to be parading them. Our second category of awards are the ones you see here to my right. And our final awards of the day. These are our special awards. These are the special awards. These are what sometimes we would call elevated awards, or perhaps a bit above the best in class category awards, announcing very special and recognizing very special cars on the field. They are Artistry in Motion Award, Timeless Award, Spirit of the Concours Award, Speed and Elegance Award, People's Choice, that's the one that is your favorite car, Aventura City Council Recognition Award,
so nervous. She doesn't know she's not
VIP
handing out
Judges
that award
Recognition
anymore.
Award,
That card
Docent
didn't come.
Judges Recognition Award, Chief Judge Recognition Award, Executive Committee Recognition Award, Chairman's Recognition Award, and last but certainly not least, our best of show, both pre-war and post-war cars. If anyone is presenting a special award, I would ask them to come forward at this time. Jason, if you would rouse the troops, anybody that's presenting a special award, to have them come forward at this time so we're prepared. And as soon as we have our first car, we will roll the car.